Hi, everyone. It's Betty Ray. Let me turn up my volume here. I hope you can all hear me. And over my shoulder here is a lovely hand hooked angel that a student of mine, a rug hooking student, created. And how I ended up with it is that she brought it to me while she was dying of cancer. And she said she wanted it finished and she wanted me to have it. I was so honored. So I did. Actually, the design is taken from an embroidery pattern. And that's what's kind of nice about this really intricate kind of rug hooking, is that you can use embroidery patterns that are very detailed, and you can use very thin cut wool. It's 100% wool strips to color it in. And it's just brought, a loop is brought up from underneath with a hook, and it's not latch hook. It's just a plain crochet hook and a wooden handle, and you make little loops. You just keep making loops. It's like stitches, only they're loops. And when you're done with the strip, you pull the loop up and you cut it off. So I wanted to bring that up today because we're going to talk about meditation. Everybody wants to know, how do you meditate? How do you get all these ideas, Betty Ray? Well, you kind of have to tune in. It's like a radio. I keep my radio on NPR most of the time. And once in a while, I kind of lose it. And when I'm dialing through, the static is me really, really bad until I find it again. And then it comes in nice and clear. That's kind of what you have to do in meditation. You have to kind of dial up, and that means you have to get through all the static and all the other stations you don't want to listen to until you get the station you want. And sometimes it's just perfect silence. Other people have actually heard celestial music. So it all depends on how deep you go into meditation. And what does that mean? Well, the brain waves, and this has been proven through science and dream study, the brain waves, in other words, if you were to see your brain waves on an oscilloscope, you would see it moving up and down like this. That's what the oscilloscope would look like. And as you go into a dream state, the little peaks and hollows get thinner and thinner and slower until you fall asleep. Then it goes even slower and slower and slower until it looks like you're unconscious or you're dead, because your brain waves practically stop. And that's at the deepest part of sleep when you are healing your body. So meditation can do the same thing. You can learn to meditate. And this is what the yogis and the gurus that have learned to meditate, this is why they need so little sleep, and it's why they last so long. And I have to say that's probably why in my 86th year I'm still here. And it's because when I meditate, I heal my body, I rejuvenate it. And so it's really, really an idea to learn to meditate. So we're going to start and do kind of a series this month. And so every Thursday, we're going to be talking about meditation. And I'm going to do some guided meditations with you, because that always helps. It's like, tell a story and you can imagine it, you can be there. So, for example, if I say, imagine a babbling brook. Well, all of you know what a babbling brook is. It makes a noise, and as it goes over the rocks, and it's crystal clear, and you can see it going in one direction or the other. And there are trees usually on one side. There are small rocks and big rocks, and it's crystal clear. Are you with me? Can you see that babbling brook? Can you hear it? Just imagine that you're hearing it. All right. Now, imagine that you are standing beside that babbling brook. There's a nice bank. It's not really, down to the bank very far. You can practically sit on the grass right next to the brook, even put your feet in it. Oh, no, it's too cold. Did you pull your feet out? It was too cold. This is really but imagine you're in Florida now, along with me. I happen to have a babbling brook in my backyard. It doesn't babble, though. It's too deep to babble. But it is beautiful, clear water. And so I don't have much trouble in visualizing. I can actually go down to the creek and meditate. So I've been very blessed in that I do have wonderful land and property around me that is conducive to meditation. But let's say you're living in an apartment and it's noisy, and how do you turn off the noise? Well, sometimes you can get earplugs. You do what you're inspired to do. And sometimes you can get earplugs and you can put them in. And then the next most important thing is to find a chair where you can put your feet flat on the floor, not put your feet up in a recliner, or don't lay down on your bed because you'll go to sleep. When you slow down the brain waves from this babbling mind of yours, like that babbling brook, when you slow down the brain waves, you eventually slow down to a sleep state. And if you're laying down, even if it's on the floor, you're going to drift off, because when you slow down those brain waves to the alpha state, that's a dream state, but that's the meditation state too. And so you want to get to that state and stay awake. That's the trick. So we're imagining we're beside a babbling brook. Look to your right. There's a cluster of flowers there. What color are they? If you're with me, tell me. If you're not, I miss you. And when you do, please subscribe and do let me know when you're here. So this is a live chat every Thursday at 11 o'clock. So here we are back beside our babbling brook, and to the right is a cluster of flowers. Now, if you haven't imagined it, for me, I'm seeing lilies, white lilies. Oh, they smell so nice. Can you smell them? Use your imagination. Be a playful little child, as Jesus recommended if you wanted to get into the kingdom of heaven within you. And that's what meditation is. The kingdom of heaven within you. That's your goal. To reach that state of bliss, of perfect joy, of everything beautiful and blooming and alive, everything peaceful. That's heaven within you. And that's what we want to get to today. So take a slow, deep breath. And remember, if you take a deep breath, it doesn't look like this. No, don't tighten up your shoulders and your... Instead, you can't see it. I take a deep breath. And my gut expands. My shoulders don't move. My eyes don't bug out. And then I release it by tucking in my gut and empty out the breath. So let's take in a slow, deep breath again. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, imagine that everything around you is slowly disappearing and you are entering the kingdom of heaven. And it's a perfect place. Whatever you want to imagine it to be, it becomes. So we've got this babbling brook. So for now, enter my kingdom of heaven, because I love nature. I love the smell of it. I love the sounds of it. I hear the sounds of birds singing, warbling, happy, happy, happy birds. I feel the wind gently touching my face. I see a yellow butterfly flittering around. Oh, and there goes a monarch. Oh, aren't they beautiful? And now I'm seeing a robin. A robin, when I lived in Michigan, meant spring. And of course, we're still in February, so it's not anywhere near spring for you in the north. But for us here in the south, March is actually spring for us. And already it's warmer. We're in the 80s. Oh, I won't rub it in anymore, but let's pretend you're in Florida with me. Let's pretend. That's the key beginning stage of meditation. Because when you can imagine yourself in a joyful space, in a place that you think is heaven-like, you have raised your consciousness out of fear and anxiety, and that simply is heaven. Don't ever think that being anxious about something and having to figure it out and work is the way to go, because it isn't. When you are anxious and you've got to work hard, you've locked off your angels talking to you, give you an easy solution and an easy way to go. So when you can relax those shoulders, when you breathe down into your gut and you begin to imagine the most beautiful place in nature, because nature gives energy and you want new energy, you want to be renewed. And that's what meditation does. It actually helps to heal your body, your mind, and your spirit. So we recommend that you meditate every day until you learn to meditate all the time, until you're always in contact with your angels, until you're always happy, except when you do have challenges. Nobody escapes it. Everybody has the challenge of being upset about something. And I can talk about Tuesday. I had my radio show, and I'll give a plug for it, W4WN Radio and TV.com. And I have a Tuesday show, and it was it was hectic because I couldn't get on the station. I had the right password, and then I couldn't get on, and then I lost it, and I couldn't. And I realized that they tell me when Mercury is retrograde, because I know nothing about astrology. Don't even ask me. When Mercury goes retrograde, all hell breaks loose. Computers kind of go kaflooey, communication breaks down. You think you said something and it comes out backwards. And so you have to be patient during this time. Okay, so let's take that deep breath again, because oh boy, was I upset on Tuesday. I was beside myself because on top of being late getting on my channel, I went overtime into somebody else's channel. And I was so upset with myself for doing that. Certainly wasn't deliberate. But then I also realized that when I do these videos, I'm in a semi-trance state. I am in a meditative state in order to bring Raphael through. So I figured next time I do the radio show, I'm going to set a timer right beside me. And so that 5 minutes before it's time for me to be done, I am going to have that timer go off and I will begin to wrap it up. Again, I felt so bad because Rebel, my engineer, had to quickly get into the next one where she usually gives herself a breather between. So I was all upset. And then I had to forgive myself. I had to say, oops, didn't do that on purpose. And I'm sorry, but I don't need to stress over it. And so I took some of baking soda because for me, when I get upset, my stomach gets upset. And the best thing for me is just a little tiny bit of baking soda in like a quarter teaspoon in a small glass of water, mix it up and chow it down, and it settles my stomach and I don't end up with abdominal cramps like I can get when I get real upset. So learn your body. Learn to figure out what makes it happy and what makes it unhappy. And then pay attention to it, because sometimes you know what you shouldn't eat, but you eat it anyway. I understand. But to meditate, you need only to be in a quiet place where you can shut your eyes if you need to. You can learn to meditate with your eyes open, but you shut your eyes. You breathe deeply so that it's not in your chest, it's down in your gut. And then you open up your playful, childlike, trusting imagination. And you imagine your safe haven. You imagine your heaven. And you go there. So let's go there. Let's imagine. Well, actually, I'm going to share with you because Raphael is showing it to me. I had a vision during meditation one time that was amazing. I went into meditation and I saw myself on a beach. I don't know what ocean it was. Beach, and off into the waterways was a dolphin, and it was dancing on the waves. on his right upright and just dancing and calling to me. And then it dove under the water, came up closer, and it yapped at me. So I dove in the water, went up to that lovely dolphin, grabbed a hold of his fin, and down we went into emerald green water. It was wonderful. I could breathe underwater. Oh my goodness, what an experience. It was so beautiful down there. I could see the coral in its gorgeous colors. I could see all these lovely fish, and they would come up and kiss me on the cheek, and they would swim along with me. They were so happy to see me. And we actually went deeper and deeper and deeper. And we came to a crystal city. It was buildings made out of crystal glass so that you could see the people inside it. Now, I don't know, I still to this day, why I was given that vision. Maybe if I ask, I can find out. Ah, Raphael is telling me that the crystal city is like you. Wherever you are, you can be seen by your angels and guides and all of the other people. You not just see that physical body, you see right through the physical body, and you see every layer of your body, right down to the skeleton. And you can see everybody else being totally visible. And so that's the way angels and God sees you. So I was taken to the crystal city and was seeing all these people, and it was amazing. But that wasn't the end of it. Then the dolphin took me off to the right, and we swam, and then we came up inside a cave, but I could see the opening. It was a big opening. So, and on the shore was an angel, and it didn't have wings, but I knew it was an angel because it glowed. And so I swam over, got out of the water, and I was completely dry the minute I did. And there was a circle of angels. And this one angel took me to that circle. It parted, put me in the center of it. The angel circle closed, and the angels' heads bowed. And so I bowed my head and closed my eyes. And the next thing I knew, the circle opened, and an angel guided me to what I think was a temple. I knew it was the God presence, and I was thrilled, and I didn't know what to expect. So I went into the temple, and I can tell you nothing about it, other than I know I fell down on my knees, put my forehead to the ground, and worshiped God. Then I was touched on the arm, and an angel took me back to the circle. And then the same angel took me to the seashore, and the dolphin was waiting for me. And it took me back to my inner sanctuary and showed me how to get to shore. And I came back into the here and now. That's how profound your meditations can become. Trust it. Be like a trusting little child that knows you are protected, that there is nothing to be afraid of in this wonderful world in your imagination. Now, there are people who learn to meditate without any pictures. I am such a picture-oriented person. They knew better than to take me into that kind of meditation, which is called transcendental meditation. I need to have pictures to give me 1,000 words. And that vision of the dolphin, the angels, and the temple of God will never be forgotten. Never. And so, dear ones, when you go into meditation, let go of all of thoughts of, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Don't allow any could, should, or ought to enter your imagination when you are in meditation. Only go in with great praise and thanksgiving and love for God. And thanks for your angels, constantly being in a gratefulness state of being. And you will always hear your angels. You will be tuned in. It's when you are grumpy, when you say, I hate this and I hate that. It's when you say, oh, that'll never happen, that it'll never happen because you are the creator. And if you say it is so, It is so. Now, that doesn't say that you can just say, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to win the lottery, like a broken record. No, because if it isn't for your highest and greatest good, you will not win the lottery. If it is, you will. But the chances are nil to none. And so don't even go there. I bought a ticket once, and that's because I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw these numbers in a box. Well, I knew I was to call my friend who lives in Southfield, Michigan. And I knew that she knew how to bet on the street lottery, which was illegal at the time, but that's what I was impressed to do. And so I asked her if she would do that. Instead, she said, no, this is how you bet in the lottery. And she told me how to go to the store, put those numbers in a box, buy the ticket, blah, blah, blah. Well, nothing happened. And I called her and I said, nothing happened. She says, well, do it again, for a couple of days in a row. So I did. Nothing happened. I called her back and I learned that she used those numbers to bet on the street lottery and she won, I don't even remember how much, and didn't share a bit of it with me. Now, she called me a few times afterwards to say, have you had any dreams about numbers? And I said, nope. And of course I thought, and I'll never give them to you again, but it's never happened again. So here again, meditation is what you do when you sleep and dream. Those dreams are actually puzzles to be interpreted. So like the vision I had of going with the dolphin, I'm still trying to interpret it. I think it was to use your playful imagination to go where you know you cannot go, to swim underwater and breathe underwater, to go to the temple of God and to prostrate yourself before God. There was no vision of God. There was just an awesome feeling of love. So overpowering, I didn't have knees to work. I mean, I fell to the ground and put my forehead on the ground and worship God. Because that love is beyond what heaven is. That love is so full that it overwhelms you. It knocks you out. And that's what meditation can be. And so, dear ones, I won't keep you long. I do want to go and point out the lovely little angel behind me again. This was part of a rug hooking class that I taught. And this young woman, as I said, was dying of cancer. And so I finished it. We put little bells on that feathers that she had there. We put beads around it. I say we because it was Raphael and I. I often speak as we because everything I do is God with me and the archangels. And so I finished it. And now it is part of my meditation. For every religion has its meditation. Every religion has its beliefs that are the channel by which they speak to God. Don't ever, ever put down another's religion, because that is how God has had them choose to worship him in this lifetime. And there's always more we can learn. So perhaps we get a new religion every lifetime. I don't know. But for today, whatever religion you have or no religion at all, simply rejoice and be glad that you are here. You are exploring this beautiful planet. And as you learn to meditate, bring that glory of this planet into your vision. It will help bring you messages. So if you see, for example, I saw a lily, a white lily, that told me to be pure of heart, which means don't be negating anything you do. Don't put down anything you do, because whatever you do it because you've been inspired to. And even those who do evil, as you may call it, even those who choose to explore the dark side now, it is for their education as a soul, as they are an explorer of planet Earth. So God doesn't condemn them, and neither should we. And so even though I can say that on this Thursday, we are in an impeachment trial. And frankly, Betty Ray hopes that Donald Trump will be impeached because he did incite that terrible riot that killed 5 people. He did desperately try to stay president like Putin has in his country. And frankly, I don't think Putin is going to be president for much longer. His people are raising up against him, and truth and justice will prevail. Goodness is coming because you are raising your consciousness out of that anxiety and fear and helplessness. And you are visualizing a free America, a happy civilian, a happy police force in every place that it is, because it has learned compassion and to be of service to others rather than to be in control of others. And so, dear friends, have a happy week. Come again on Tuesday to our radio show, W4WNradio.com. We're also on Pandora. We're also on iHeartRadio. Those are reruns. So don't hesitate. Please subscribe and let us know that you've been here or that you've watched our channel. It certainly encourages us to know we have some people watching. And so, dear ones, be safe. Do wear a mask. We are still in the midst of a pandemic. And the best thing, even if I haven't even gotten a shot yet to immunize myself, but I wear a mask and I know that that is the best way. That will keep me healthy, and so will the angels. So call upon the angels, but don't do foolish things like going without a mask. And if you can get the vaccine, do get it. And until next time, be happy, because that's the way you create what you desire. Bye for now.